Debt, they say, is a two-edged sword. It can either cut it short for you or cut you and harm you. With us today is Winfred Njeri, a senior project manager with Absa Bank. She's in charge of Project Management Office. Winnie has 15 years of experience in financial institutions, and a part of it was handling debt management and collection. Winnie, you're welcome to Clarkson School Tidbits.
Thank you for having me in your show.
All right, you're welcome. What is debt?
Debt is money that is owed to somebody. And when I mean somebody, can be a circle, can be an institution, that is financial institution, can be your sister or your family member, or even your neighbor. So it's any money that you owe to someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. You heard that, guys. So if you owe your sister or your mother, it is a debt. You cannot call that assistance. And so, Winnie, what really motivates people, to get into debt?
Debt, why people get into debt is because there's a need to acquire something out of their way of life, and what they want to acquire, the amount of money that they have is not enough to get what they want. What do I mean? It is something beyond your affordability. First, you have to understand it's beyond your affordability, but you want to acquire it sooner. Yes.
So, I want to go on a holiday with my family. I have not budgeted for it. I have not saved for it. And my bank or my circle is offering loan chap, pre-approved. Some say that is bad debt. Just take us through good debt and bad debt. Which is which?
Okay. For good debt, a good debt is where you're acquiring extra money through your financial institution or borrowing your from somebody to acquire an asset. What I mean an asset is something that the value will always be growing.
Okay.
It means you are enhancing your asset value. And then for bad debt is where you're acquiring a liability. Okay. What do I mean by a liability? A holiday is a liability. The moment you go to a holiday, that money you'll not see it again. You have poured it down. Okay. When you buy a car already is a liability on top of a liability. What I mean is you'll go and buy a car, and the moment you walk out of it from the showroom, the value has already depreciated. But if you get a debt to buy a house, if you buy a house today, a week after, the house, the value will not be the same. So a good debt is where you're acquiring an asset which continues to increase its value. A bad debt is where you're acquiring a liability whose values keeps on diminishing day by day.
Excellent. Hope you heard it. Good debt, appreciation. Bad debt attracts depreciation. So, Winnie, what is the thought process that one should go through before they choose to go for a loan or not?
To go for a loan, and I would give you even experience in terms of what I apply in my life. For you to get into a loan, loans are not bad. First of all, you have to accept loans are bad. They only accelerate you to get the things that you require in a shorter period, but with a plan to repay. So therefore, the first thing that somebody must know, even if they are offer of loans, even if there's pesa chap.
Yes.
Yeah, even if you're seeing those SMSs of M-Shwari and all that, the thing is, don't be enticed to run for them, thinking that you run away. A debt is always a debt, and you always owe somebody debt. Whether it is your sister or your mother, you owe to pay. What you need to know, by the time you're acquiring your debt, it starts from the budget planning and your life planning. Therefore, every month, if you're having an income, the basic thing that you should start is a budget plan.
All right.
A budget plan is where you come up with your monthly minimum expenses that you must meet.
Okay.
The number two, always no priority, you must save at least 20% of your income. Whether 20%. You're earning 1,000 or 500 shillings, you must save 20% that you'll never touch. It's always your saving for emergency or for your wealth growth. Otherwise, you'll end up being poor and poor forever, and you'll live to complain and wondering what is happening to others.
And I think people have bewitched you.
Exactly. There's nothing, I believe there's nothing like being bewitched. It is about how you plan your savings. And I tell you, I always give an example. Teachers are the best in that. A banker can be paid a salary worth 500,000 but lives worse than a teacher earning 17,000. So what you earn does not matter your wealth. It is how you manage the little that you earn and how you manage up to your last coin.
Correct.
So what do I mean? The moment you budget and you make sure you save at least 20% of your income, therefore you'll be able to see, I have saved, I have met my needs in terms of in the house, the expenses. I have this extra that I can survive with. And this extra that you can survive with, remember when you have extra money, what happens? You keep on expensing it because you feel you have a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah? So somebody calls, you have this need, you just give, and therefore it's not earning interest, it's not doing anything. But if you had planned now to acquire something within your plan, remember we said you need to have a 1 year and long-term plan. If you had planned to acquire something, now you can use this extra to acquire that something through being given a loan to accelerate this acquisition.
All right.
But you have already evaluated from the income I have, I can be able to pay because you did your budget. You had your budget. Yes.
So excellent. Guys, you don't go for a loan just because you've been pre-approved or you've been sent an SMS that you qualify. You must plan. So that said, how then do we manage? There are people who are already in debt and they are wondering, we have COVID, people are struggling out of employment. How do we manage debts? And if you're stuck in a rut, you have not been able, probably defaulted for the last 1 year, even before COVID came. Yeah, what measures or what steps should such a person take so that we do not assume that that debt will sort itself out? Because sometimes you default and you're like, I'm hopeless, I've given up, and you disappear. What measures should such a person undertake with probably the financial institution that actually give them the loan?
Okay, for financial institution or where you feel that you have already gotten into a hole, first of all, you have to evaluate yourself. Because the issue with the financial issues, it's more of the solution is within you.
Okay.
What do I mean? Is that every time you're living in your life, and remember we said about 20% savings.
Yes.
Those are the things that come to save you when you're in such scenario or when you're in problem. And why I said you don't acquire liability, you acquire asset is because these assets you're acquiring in case you lose a job.
Yes.
Like this time of COVID and you have a loan to pay. The first thing that is always said, first evaluate, how can I pay?
Okay.
Either by selling off something to settle the loan that you have.
All right.
Or 2, negotiation with the financial institution or the person who owes you money. The challenge we have most with people is when you default or when you are unable to pay,
Yes.
people hide.
You shy away, correct?
You shy away.
Correct.
And when you shy away, remember days are counting, months are counting. The moment you default the first month, you'll be notified you have defaulted. Number 2, when you default the second month, the interest is escalated. And the loan continues doubling and tripling and you wonder what happened. The reason, know that when you are signing something that we call the offer letter, that is a contract when you're being lent, it has terms and conditions. So always when you're running with a loan, understand your terms and conditions.
Okay.
But don't shy off from saying, I have a problem. How can we work together as a team?
Okay.
And therefore you can go on and negotiate for your loan to be restructured. What do I mean by restructuring? Restructuring is where the loan is lengthened a period to make the repayment less. And then you continue paying for longer time. It's only that you pay longer, more interest, but it will give you time to evaluate yourself.
Correct.
The other thing for the people who have been paying, and this will go back to where I said money owed is always must be paid, whether it is your mother's, whether it is your sister or your friends. Why I'm saying that is because if you've been paying your loan very well and you approach your bank, especially this time of COVID, I'm sure you've had loan holidays. Like Absa Bank, you're giving loan holidays.
Oh, wow,
so if you've been
amazing.
paying loan very well, you'll be given some time off for you to be able to reinstate your business in a better terms and come and pay. Others are choosing to be restructured, where they're given longer term period, because when it is done so, the loan repayment become lesser, and therefore with the little income that you're getting, you're able to accommodate a lesser repayment.
Yes.
But the scenarios where people are in worse and where an auctioneer is coming. For me, I say it's not the time to close yourself in bedroom and cry. This is where your terms with other people, your terms in terms of your family members, and in terms of your investment that you had done with the savings come in. It's either take an action to sell your asset yourself rather than waiting someone to come and auction.
Correct.
Because when somebody is auctioning you, they are looking for only what you owe them at that time. When you sell your item, your asset as yourself, you're able to sell at the price that you can. So negotiate to be given time and sell off your asset to be able to set off the debt. And in that, you'll not get into much problem, because when it is auctioned, when a lawyer comes in, you're the one to meet all those costs. But when it is done by yourself, actually you'll be able to sell at a higher value and be able to get an income from it.
Correct.
And then the other thing I also need to say is that people do not shy off from adjusting their lives. Because where we have a problem is where maybe I've been living in Lavington, or where I've been living in Karen, or where I've been living in a 5-bedroom house, but I don't want to adjust myself. When you're in scenario where you're seeing financial institution or somebody who is bringing for you issues and their terms, remember you signed a contract. It's going to be a legal case. Some of them where you don't have security, you end up being in jail. You don't have to wait for that. That can bring a lot of stress to your family and a lot of stress to yourself. So what you need to do is be ready to adjust yourself.
Correct.
If you're living in a 5-bedroom, why can't you go into a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom for a period of time? Let out to this house, or get a way that you can lease it for some time and you get money. And by so doing, you'll be at peace.
Correct.
You'll be at peace with yourself and even the lender. You continue paying, and thereafter things will go back to normal, and you go back to your house.
Wow.
Yes.
Wonderful. Guys, 3 things I've gotten from this. Number 1, have a good relationship with your bank, so that if you have a problem, they can actually listen to you. Number 2, detach. Don't get attached to your house, your assets. Mr. Nduati shared this story, and he said he lost his home, lost his marriage. Do not get attached to your assets. If things are really bad and the bank or the financial institution wants to repossess your property, by the way, sell it. Because as Winfred has told us, they are only looking for the difference. If you sell it, you will be able to clear what you owe the bank or the financial institution, and equally go and build up something for yourself. And then you have actually mentioned something very important, and anybody who has taken your advice to heart will honestly survive through this pandemic. Do not fear to readjust your life. The difference between the people who will survive this pandemic financially and those who might lose it all is how quick are you to adjust your lifestyle to your current condition. That is what will set the 2 worlds apart. So, Winnie, your parting shot.
Okay,
What would you actually tell the young guys who copper from Mshwari, whatever, they're on CRB and they don't care? After all, they're 25. What will you tell them?
For the young people, what I would tell them is, when you're borrowing from one platform or up to the other one, and you're reading CRB, actually it is just damaging your image and your brand. The reason is because in future they'll be working to KRA. They'll be able to see some of these things. You'll want to open a business. They'll be able to see some of these things. You'll go to an institution and for sure you have succeeded and you want a loan and you'll be told for sure we cannot give. I've seen actually people have engaged me where such scenario has happened, and let me tell you, it becomes bad because You can never live in your life borrowing from your family only.
Correct.
There are times that you need to go to an institution because you want to open a big company, or you want to buy something that is bigger for now, but you plan to pay in future. So it becomes worse when you're being told you have something that you need to clear with an institution. So the person that you shut off, you're told go back first and clear with them. And then also the other thing is unfortunately it becomes a habit. And it's a very bad habit because the moment you're borrowing from one area to the other one, it means you're living beyond your means.
Correct.
Because we said you only borrow after you have assessed your extra income that you can repay. So if you have borrowed and you have not repaid, it means you cannot afford debt. Don't borrow any more. First clear with one and first stabilize yourself. The other thing is also to know, no matter what you do and you're in CRB, debt ratio is already affected. Because the moment all institutions actually they are searching now. By the time you're getting the loan to confirm whether you're in CRB. So the moment you walk in and you're in CRB, you have to clear first. And definitely even if your repayment or your payslip looks good, your business looks good, this person will have a doubt.
Correct.
The other thing is you'll not even be able to negotiate for good interest for where you're given a chance to negotiate good interest. The reason is because you tarnished yourself. So your reputation is not good. So what I'll tell young people, start with budgeting. Don't rush to get things that you cannot afford now. When you budget and you save, there comes a time you'll get them.
Yes.
At very easy. And some of them borrow money for phones, for gifts, for others. Those are things that you need to save from the little income you're getting.
Yes.
And one day you'll be able to afford them very easy.
Correct.
So stop in this being in cycle of borrowing. It's more of making your life bad, and it's more of tarnishing their reputation.
Correct.
And it means it is living beyond their means.
That is it.
Yeah.
And remember, they have a long way to go in life.
Exactly.
So you don't want to miss your credibility.
Yeah,
at
and
this stage.
if you allow me to add, for young people, let them focus. You know, the younger you are, the more risk that you can take. What do I mean? You don't have a family. So the moment you get your first job, don't rush to acquisition of liability. Actually, is the best time to acquire an asset.
Correct.
The reason is because you have longer time to repay.
Yes.
You are younger, so you're evaluated to be better than when you get older.
Yes.
And you'll come to realize when you get to retirement, getting a loan is difficult than when you are young. So young people, utilize that time to get the asset. And the younger you are, it means you'll see them appreciating.
Correct.
I'm sure the person who went somewhere like Kitengela, the times 1 acre used to be 5,000. Right now it is about 30 million or so. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And those people that were young by then, they were able to get loan, and right now they're just laughing at the people who are selling plots there.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So the young people just get a chance to learn about how to invest in asset and how to borrow wisely. Stop borrowing for gadgets, for things that are liability. And then go far.
Wow. Profound words and financial nuggets from Winfred Njeri. We really, truly, as Clarkson School, appreciate your presence and the information that you have given us. Thank you very much.
You're much welcome.
Yes. Guys, for this and much more, do you need assistance? Debt management, asset management? Get in touch with us. Clarkson's School Insurance and Investment Agencies. It has been a pleasure. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.